Welcome to the vent box. Let it out. Get it off your chest. Who do we have on the line?
Hey, Keisha. This is daughter-in-law, and I live in the A.
Daughter-in-law.
And
okay.
Yes. And I wanted to call in reference to a Facebook post that you posted between a daughter-in-law and the mother and the husband's son. And the mother-in-law was in the front seat, and the daughter-in-law wanted to take over the seat because
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was a hot one.
Yeah, that was a hot one. And, it references the disposition of the daughter-in-law, trying to ensure that her place is cemented in the relationship.
Right.
Because what daughter-in-law wants to be in the back seat when her husband is driving?
Of course. So let me ask you something. I mean, I know I asked people on Facebook, I specifically asked if people call in to vent if you're in this situation or have been in this situation. Did you have to deal with that scenario?
Absolutely. In the beginning of my marriage, I was that daughter-in-law.
You was a daughter-in-law. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a lot of really
daughter-in-law.
Interesting responses to that. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, I was daughter-in-law in the beginning of my marriage, and 4 marriages is two people, different backgrounds, trying to come together, unite, and create their own journey. And it was just little things in the beginning, like how the house is kept and the products that's being used. And if I wasn't using the same products that he grew up with, then it was substandard.
So this was coming from the husband.
This was actually coming from the mother-in-law, who would frequent our place where we lived unannounced, just to make sure that he was being kept in the manner that he was accustomed.
So when it came to the products, he was basically, she planted seeds and then he vocalized
absolutely
how he felt about it. So he might have actually thought that he felt that way because he was so used to it being okay.
So it's not clean because I'm not using Comet. They grew up with Comet.
Right.
I didn't. I grew up with Ajax.
Ajax.
Okay. With bleach and the blue can.
Right. That's right. It was the green can and the blue can. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And she liked to, she used all detergent.
Okay.
I grew up with Tide.
Okay.
That's what that was about. Just little things like that. And then little snide remarks that she would make, saying, she a young wife. She don't know what she's doing. I got to mold her. No, you don't have to mold me.
How old were you guys?
I'm not your responsibility. 21, 22.
Okay.
Very young. And I think that it also came from the fact that she wasn't really supportive. She felt like, he was making the wrong decision and getting married, that he was being trapped, so to speak, because we had a 5-month-old.
Okay.
But we'd been together a solid 4 years before that baby even came.
Okay.
And we knew what we wanted to do. And this was him. He wanted to get married. Actually, I did not.
Okay. And why did you not?
Well, I was young and I didn't think that I was ready.
Okay, and 21 is, do you mind me asking how old you are? Because 21, it depends upon when it was. 21 at one point was not young at all, too young to get married. Now, 21-year-olds might be like, I'm too young to get married. So that's why I'm asking your age.
I'm 56.
Okay.
And so I got married to a man, or young man at that time, who was my first love, and I was 15 when we met. I was 20 when we got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you knew each other well.
We knew each other well, so well, Keisha. In fact, not only did I know him, but he lived right next door. So it was close proximity.
Absolutely. Okay. So the families knew each other well.
The families knew each other. The mothers knew each other, and the mothers were both had the same vocation. They were both barmaids, and that's how they raised their children.
Okay.
So they got an opportunity to meet each other. several times in what would be deemed as like a round robin, where a guest barmaid would come to another bar to barmaid and stuff. And so that's how they were acquainted with each other. They didn't really know each other, but they were acquainted with each other.
Gotcha. So some of the issues that you guys had, do you feel like it was definitely the mom, but how was your husband? How did he handle the situation?
Well, being young and also being a mama's boy, it was really difficult. It was really difficult, I think, for him at that age to communicate and verbalize what he was feeling. And he was feeling like he was torn in the middle, just like the guy in the video.
Okay.
I love you and I love her. You know, that type of thing.
Yeah, but for me, so based on, I'm gonna reserve my comments how I feel about it until a little bit later. But some of the comments that were made was, you know, the mother is being petty, the mother's out of pocket, and they start quoting the Bible about the Bible says that a man should cleave to his wife. Other comments was, you know, a lot of comments. I want to say the majority, if I had to say maybe 65%, were saying, you know, the daughter's out of pocket, mom always comes first. And that was for male and females. I did pay attention to that. And at one point in the video, at the very end, I believe I heard the wife cuss and call the mama a bitch. And so I was like, okay, now that's out of pocket. And whether you a mama's boy or not, like, I don't know how anyone can sit and allow anyone to disrespect their parents. So the question is, like, for me, I felt like the son was not in control of the situation at all. It was obvious this was something that happened continuously. It was obvious that the mother and the daughter did not like each other. It was obvious that this was not the first time. There was something that the daughter said, "This is my car, so your mama needs to get in the back." And so it was, and a lot of people seem to think that, like, that doesn't matter. You should respect your elders. That's the boy's mama. So it was kind of torn, not necessarily down the middle, but there was a good amount of people that agreed with the daughter-in-law. So what kinds of things were you guys dealing with? I mean, other than like products and things like that, had you and the mom had like any kind of confrontation or?
We actually did.
Okay.
And you know, we did have a confrontation because it got, for me, struggling to be a new wife, not really knowing what I was doing and not finding that support from her, which I really wanted. It was frustrating. And I do remember there was a day and I was in mom's house, her house.
Okay.
You know, and I believe I was fixing his plate.
Okay.
And she was chastising me about how I was fixing his plate. Now, he wasn't in the room at the time. I remember that he was in the basement. And she lived on the second floor. It was her house. And, you know, she made the food because, you know, I wouldn't be able to do that. But the least you could do is fix his plate.
Right. Okay. So she wouldn't let you cook, or you just didn't know how to cook because
she
you were
would
21?
not.
Okay.
She would not let me cook.
Okay.
Because, and side story to that is she was an absolute excellent cook.
Okay. So you were fine with not, okay.
I was fine. You want to do that? This is your thing. This is what you do.
And you do it well, and I like your cooking. So, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But she wanted me to fix his plate. And I remember it was fish and homemade coleslaw.
Okay.
And the coleslaw was too close to the fish. I'll never forget that. You got it running all on the fish, it matched up together. You don't eat like that. That's not the way I raised him. That's not what I do.
That's not the way she raised him?
That's not the way she raised him, to have to eat his food like that. Just plopping it on the plate and serving it to him like it's a dog food or garbage. Okay,
let me say this really quick. I can tell that this was a major event in your life, because with you being 56 now, and that happened when you were 21, and you remember the details down to, we had fish And the fish was
Yep.
too close to the coast. Yeah, this was a major situation. Yeah, I can't wait to hear how it unravels. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and so she took the plate. She kind of like snatched the plate and put a hush puppy on there, and said, just call him and tell him to come get his food.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, I'm getting a little bit tired of you talking to me that way.
Mm-hmm.
And what set it off, Keisha, was she's like, who do you think you're talking to, little girl?
That's it. Okay.
That was it. I said, I'm not a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how you feel about your son.
And you didn't quite say it like that, like in this tone. Okay.
No. Yeah. Okay. I was like, I'm not a little girl. And I know how you feel about your son and how you raised him. And you might have changed his diapers, but I'm sucking his dick now.
Ooh.
You think, so you want to make this out to be a competition. Who you think's going to win?
Girl. Ooh. Shit.
Was not my finest moment.
I mean, listen. Hey, sometimes people. Oh, shit. I'm still trying to get past it. Hold on. But listen, sometimes people push you there. People keep poking the bear. And a lot of times elders feel like, oh, you just a young, you should always respect me regardless of how much I disrespect you. I should always be respected. And that's not the case. I'm sorry. I disagree with that notion as well. So what was her reaction?
You know, she laughed.
Did she?
She started cracking up. She said, okay, well then you ain't no little girl. You's a bad bitch.
Okay.
Okay.
Where y'all from though? Just curious.
Newark, New Jersey.
Okay, see, come on. See, that's where my family's from. New York, New Jersey.
Yes, okay.
So my grandparents.
So you know.
I already know the attitude. Like for her to laugh about it, I was like, okay, that's not a Southern thing. And of course, I'm not trying to blanket Southerners, but like typically speaking, that's something that'll get somebody smacked in the mouth. Or somebody, or a fight, or especially the son. So how did the son ever find out how you spoke to his mother, and what was his reaction?
Yeah, he did find out maybe like a few months later.
Okay.
And he was like, you said that to my mother?
And all y'all laughed
And I was like, yeah, we laughed about it. And he wasn't surprised. He said he wasn't surprised because of who my mother was.
Okay.
Now, my mother's mouth can make a sailor blush.
Listen, that's Millie all day long.
Oh,
that's Millie all day long.
She happens to love Millie Jackson.
Yeah, see?
She feels like she can relate.
Yeah.
She says what she means, and she means what she says, and she always taught me that you are in control of how people treat you.
That's right.
You let them know who they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And, if somebody crossed the line, you got to let them know.
That's it.
Stand up for yourself.
That's it.
Give them some real talk.
Or they'll continue to do it. Yep.
And do you know, after that incident,
it was all good.
She had a newfound respect for me. And maybe for her, kind of realized that she was overstepping and not really giving respect to this young marriage that was blooming.
And
after that,
she was
she felt it. She felt felt that I was pushed to the point of no return.
And see, that's what it takes sometimes. Sometimes the mother, let me say this. I can only assume, child, I ain't been married and been through this, but I can only assume that the mother will often continue the role as the mother until she feels like the wife is going to, that the wife is, number one, worthy, but often a son will choose a woman like his mother. So it was a knocking of the heads, and maybe she needed to feel that headbutt in order to feel like, oh, okay, she like me. He gonna be all right.
Exactly. That's
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly right, Keisha. He's gonna be fine.
He's gonna be fine.
And I should have known that based upon her mother.
Yeah, there it is.
Like she gonna be there for him. She gonna ride with him. She gonna fight for him.
That's it.
And many years later, and you know, my mother-in-law is now deceased, but you know, many years later, she said something to me that I always remember was very touching. And she was like, you know, I can die happy knowing that my son chose well.
Girl, that's beautiful.
He chose beautiful. Well.
Well, that's
so,
a great,
you know,
that's a happy ending. That's a great ending. I mean, you probably went through hell along the way, but you know, off and on.
For 2 years.
Until it settled in. Yeah. Until it settled in. But I mean, it's really good to know because, you know, that was a little clip that I posted and it was a lot of people commented on, a lot of people had, but this was a really good ending to what looked like was about to be a terrible, terrible outcome. Like they were either going to get divorced or mama was going to get cut off, but it was going to have to come to a head at some point. So yeah, this was really good. Thank you, daughter-in-law.
Yeah, it was just a way to let her know I'm not going nowhere. I'm not intimidated by you.
That's it. And that's what she needed.
What we got is for real. I can remember she gave great parties, and my husband, self-taught, plays piano. So he was a songwriter hard back then, and he would write stuff inspired by me and teach me the lyrics. And she gave us a platform to perform for her friends many times.
So she sounded like a beautiful person. She was just having a problem with letting go. You know,
exactly.
He had a problem with letting go.
That you have to realize their relationship. He was very close to his mother. They grew up together. She was 14 when she had him, and she was very attached to him. He was the oldest.
That's it.
The husband passed away. My father-in-law never got to meet him, and he kind of stepped into the role to make sure everything was okay at a very, very early age.
Wow.
And so she wanted to, I guess, since I have a son now, I can kind of relate to how she felt.
Yeah, because that relationship between the mothers and the sons is just different. Like, you know, especially as Black mothers, like we're so protective for so many reasons. You know, we're so protective. And yeah, when they get to that age, it's like, okay, I need you to step out. But if you fall, I got you. But you know, so it's kind of like, sometimes you can't have them. Like in order to be a man, like you kind of got to let them fall. But we never want to see that. We never want to. Of
course,
we treat all our children
never want to see
them
fall.
You know, if your daughter's riding a bike, if your son is riding a bike, you're trying to catch them before they fall. But with the son, you don't realize that you have to let them fall in order to pick themselves up. You know, it's a little bit different raising a son than it is a daughter. Yeah, so that's a lesson that you kind of have to learn along the way, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
I appreciate you calling, daughter-in-law.
All right. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, what were you going to say? What were you going to say about Black mothers?
I was just going to agree with you with Black mothers. What I find that there's a saying that Black mothers love their sons, but they raise their daughters.
Yeah. That's true.
We want our daughters to be strong, but we want to cushion our sons because we know what it is they have to face in this world, being Black and being male.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
That's something right there. Yeah. Well, that's a great note to end on. I appreciate you calling. And I'm so glad there was a great outcome. You know what I mean? There was a positive outcome to this. You know, nobody had to go to blows. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Nobody had to do any of that. And we are last Thursday past celebrated 36 years strong. So.
Incredible. Happy anniversary. Go listen to you.
Thank you.
Wow. Happy anniversary. Hey.
Hey.
All right. Well, thank you again for calling and, you know, call back anytime.
Absolutely.
All right, love. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for checking out the Vent Box with Keisha Jackson. You can catch it every Wednesday, so please subscribe and follow Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter at Vent Box Pod. That's Vent Box Pod. And if you need to vent, please shoot me an email at ventboxpod@gmail.com or give me a call, 404-941-0338. See you next week.